What's up, guys? Back again, and today we're going to be going over a few things. And first, I'd like to show you the 9-dot solution. You've probably heard of the 9-dot solution. You have 9 dots, and the object of this is to connect the dots with 4 lines or less without lifting the marker or pen and without retracing the same line. So there's a lot of ways to do this. One of the most common is to start here. Now, the average, when you first look at this, you think, okay, well, I can go down, I can go diagonal, what can I do from here? There's no rules that say you can't go outside of the box. But our brains don't tend to think of that right away. So it takes a radical shift of thinking, kind of like we talked in the green triangles video. Now there's another way to solve this, and I'll show you real quick, because I just learned this way. Let me just do this over. And you can start from here. I don't know how straight those lines are, but that is another way. Let you know one more way, because this way is pretty cool. You can go. How easy is that? That's not really straight, but you get the point. I think, fuck, I'm messing this video up. Oh well, don't use the third way, use the first two if you're ever asked to solve the 9-dot challenge. So, radically shifting the way we think, leading us into principle 3 on how to win friends and influence people. I'm pretty excited about this. This is very cool. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely road. Dale Carnegie. The reason I showed you the 9-dot solution is because we have to think differently. We have to literally think outside the box. We can go outside the box. Now, when dealing with humans, we have to think differently. We have to consider what's going on inside of their heads. So let's start. I often went fishing up in Maine during the summer. Personally, I'm very fond of strawberries and cream, but I have found that for some strange reason, fish prefer worms. So when I went fishing, I didn't think about what I wanted. I thought about what they wanted. I didn't bait the hook with strawberries and cream. Rather, I dangled a worm or grasshopper in front of the fish and said, "Wouldn't you like to have that?" Why not use the same common sense when fishing for people? Great Britain's Prime Minister, he says, was asked, "How did you stay in power so long?" And he responded with this. He said, when someone asked him how he managed to stay in power after the other wartime leaders, he replied that if staying on the top might be attributed to any one thing, it would be to his having learned that it was necessary to bait the hook to suit the fish. Why talk about we want when what's most important is what that person wants? He gave a story of Ralph Waldo Emerson. Him and his son had this calf, and they were trying to lead the calf into the barn. The calf wouldn't budge, so they started pushing it. He was pushing, his son was pulling, and the calf didn't want to go, and it made its legs stiff. It wouldn't budge. Well, they had a maid in the house, and the maid said, "Let me try something." She came outside and she stuck her finger into the calf's mouth, and she slowly walked back into the barn. The calf would suck on it like a tit. It would suck on the finger, and she led it into the barn. She gave the calf what he wanted. And dealing with people, he gives another example of a man from Ohio named Stan. His son was getting ready to go to kindergarten in the morning, he came home to him, and his son was on the ground kicking, screaming, "Dad, I don't want to go. I don't want to go." And his dad immediately was just going to send him to his room. You know, go to your room, you're going to school in the morning, you have to go. But instead, his dad thought, why would I want to go to kindergarten? If I was my son Tim's age, why would I want to go to kindergarten? And he got an idea. He got a bunch of finger paints, he got a bunch of paper, he got board games and different things, drawing supplies. And he called his wife and his other son Bob into the room, and they all started playing, started finger painting and doing puzzles and stuff. And the son Tim came in, he was like, "Dad, I want to finger paint. Dad, I want to do what you guys are having a bunch of fun." And his dad was like, "Tim, you got to go to school tomorrow, and they'll teach you how to finger paint. They'll teach you all this stuff." He explained it as nicely as he could, and the next day, the dad, Stan, came to the living room, and Tim was on the sofa, fast asleep. His dad woke up and he was like, "Son, why are you sleeping out here in the living room? Why aren't you in your bed?" He said, "Dad, I really want to go to school. I can't wait to learn to finger paint. I can't wait to learn to do all those fun things that you guys were doing." A very simple story, but it's powerful to see that when we put other people's wants first, when we consider what they desire the most, instead of bringing our own ideas and making it seem like we're trying to get out our own desires to them, no one really cares about what we want. We care the most. But if you can make someone else think it's their idea, if you can get them thinking a little more about their own wants and needs, desires, then you have a very, very powerful way to influence. Finishing up here, he gives this example. He says, William Winter once remarked that self-expression is the dominant necessity of human nature. Why can't we adapt the same psychology to business dealings? When we have a brilliant idea, instead of making others think it is ours, why not let them cook and stir the idea themselves? They will then regard it as their own. They will like it and maybe eat a couple of helpings of it. Remember, first arouse in the other person an eager want. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely road. When I first started doing sales, I learned a very cool technique. This is called the Benjamin Franklin close. It's very common in sales. And what Benjamin Franklin would do is, whenever faced with the decision or with closing a sale with someone, he would draw a line down a sheet of paper, and he would give reasons for, and against. Why we would be against. Now, you would ask the person, what are we considering? Why are we having trouble here? All right. The number one reason is usually cost. So we got cost, and number two, timing. So it's just not good timing for me right now. Now we would go over to the reasons for. We would give them a reason for because I really like it. All right. Reasons two. What's another reason? Well, I really want it. I really want this car. I really want this house. Another reason could be saving money over a long period of time. If you're getting better gas mileage over a long period of time, you're going to save more money. The list goes on and on. You keep pointing all these reasons for, and you let the against. There's not many against, right? Timing, cost, but reasons for, they've got all these reasons why they want to move forward into this new product, this new service that you provide. Maybe it's this new van has more room for their family, so more room. And so on. Go on down the list. Give at least 10. I think Zig Ziglar said, give at least 10. So you get the idea. You give the person, you instill it into their mind. Remind them of what they want, of all the ideas, because people have it in their self, guys. People know exactly what they want, and we have to bait the hook accordingly. This is number 3. I'm just making a video. I'll be right. I'll be out in a second. This is principle 3, and this is arouse in the other person an eager want. So in a nutshell, we've done 3 so far. Principle 1 was don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Number 2 was give honest and sincere appreciation. And number 3 was arouse in the other person an eager want. We're going to be moving on to part 2, and part 2 is 6 ways to make people like you. We'll be approaching that soon. This is Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe. I'll see you soon.